Don. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Peter, so much for 3 super chats. It's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I did a little of that. But hi. Who's here in the chat? It's the end of the year. Can you believe that it's almost 2025? Tell me who's here. I want to talk to everybody. It's been such an incredible year, and we have so much to talk about, and there's so much coming up for next year, and I cannot believe it's all happening, and I am just so excited to see what this next year has to offer. But I am so happy to be here with you all. I mean, really, what an incredible year. I'm looking back through all of my stuff right now, and I was trying to make a little end of the year social media montage of all the highlights, and it's so hard to pick and choose because there were so many incredible moments this year, and I'm just cannot believe it's the end of the year. It feels like it just flew by, absolute craziness. But I'm just super happy to talk to you guys. And hi, Peter. Thank you so much for all the super chats. This is so nice of you. I was really so kind. Hi, you made one. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much. If it'll be a Universal Studios, be my pick. Okay, Animal Kingdom would be fun, especially if we do it in January, because it won't be during the Animal Kingdom summer. You know, it was so funny. We were in Disney this week or last week, whatever, and I had my husband with me, and he's never been to Animal Kingdom well, he has, but it's been a long time since he's been to Animal Kingdom during the winter. And he was even though it was kind of cold out, once we got to Animal Kingdom, it was Animal Kingdom hot. Not it's so hot, but you felt the difference because it's called Animal Kingdom hot for a reason. Oh my gosh. But thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for being a part of this channel. It has just been so fun this year. And I want to just kind of go over things. I want to talk to you about what's coming up. And I'm going to keep kind of bringing up what's coming up next year. Hi, Demi. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Birthday, Happy New Year, all the things. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. Yes, it was my birthday recently. Thank you so much. I know when you have a December birthday, people tend to not really care as much, and it's fine. I actually really like having a December birthday. It's not most people would say no, but I like it. I don't know, because there's always something to do. It's the holiday season. So this year we went down to, to the parks, and I got to just have a no filming weekend and got to do Very Merry Christmas Party. Thank you so much. It's just there's always something to do. Usually on my birthday, I go see Santa at Macy's in New York City, because that's where the real Santa is. I am convinced that all of his wonderful helpers are wonderful, but the real Santa is at Macy's. Hello, Erica. Thank you so much for being here. But we had a wonderful time. I just love that I was able to just kind of live in the moment and see the parks without a camera in front of me. It was really special. It was really special to share it with my husband and to see my friends that live down there. And Alexa, if you remember her from some previous videos, she came down from Georgia. So it was so fun to have everybody. Your birthday's in December too. Oh, happy birthday. Yes, love having all the holiday decor. It's so beautiful. So even though people, it's hard to maybe do a birthday party or something this time of year, though I did make one happen. I had a birthday party early, December 7th, before it really got into the crux of the holidays, and I told people about it 6 months in advance. So I was no, you have no excuse, you can be there. But it was so great. We had so much fun. It's a new era for me. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel like. I still feel like myself. I guess that's good. It's just another decade. Your birthday is near, or sometimes on Easter. Oh, well, yeah. It's hard when sometimes your birthday falls on a holiday, for sure. But we had a great time, and I'm so happy that I got to have that time in the parks. It's very rare for me. So I'm looking back at this year, and honestly, like, it's just making me so excited about this next year because first of all, like, as much as I love covering like the holidays and, Halloween is my favorite time of year, but my favorite time of year for the channel is during the months prior to August. So January to August, because once August hits, it's Halloween and then immediately holidays, right? And so January to August is like the time where I can kind of just like come up with things on my own, right? Come up with all like the things that I'm trying to think about and like have ideas for, or do special things like we did after hours in Hollywood studios this year. So that was such an incredible experience. It was a very expensive experience, $175. But if you saw the video, if you saw how much we did, it really was so worth it. Personally, I'm an annual pass holder. Obviously, I'm a creator and I'm there all the time. If I was a person who's never been to Disney and I was going to be there for a few days and I knew an after hours day was there, I would not get a ticket for that day and just go to after hours, and like you can just do basically all of the rides in the park. And then when your regular ticket, you can go back and do the shows and meet some more characters that you don't get to see. So, it was really unbelievable. And the fact that there was a lot of rare characters was fantastic. It's going to be cold in Disney next week. I'm not looking forward to it. Oh, but it's so much better than when it's hot. It's so much better. This year it was really hot, but last year was even hotter. Last year was like 110 degrees. I did my tour of Caribbean Beach. It took me 3 days to do because you just could not be outside during the day. It was awful. So take advantage of these winter months because it's just going to be so much better than when you go in the summer. But yeah, so after hours, I was really looking to see if I can do Epcot after hours this year because we've covered Magic Kingdom after hours. We've covered Hollywood Studios. And the thing is, I want to cover Epcot because I don't think it's worth it. And I think that's funny that I'm saying that now, and that's my hypothesis going into it. Hopefully I can find a night to do it. It's weird. It's like it has one night and then it's like there's no nights for a really long time and then there's nights again. So depending on my schedule, I would love to do it. It's a very expensive experiment, but obviously it's for you. So if you want to see that, make sure to let me know. That's something you would want to see if it's worth it to do, because the fact is, like, really Test Track isn't back up right now, right? So really, like, the only reason to do this in my head is to get on to Guardians and to get on to Ratatouille and Frozen. Those are like the biggest, highest weights in the park all the time. And, if you're buying lightning lanes, like, you can obviously do it with lightning lanes. So that's going to be a lot cheaper than $150 for 3 hours. Because it's not like the food booths are going to be open, right? It's not like you're just going to get like Epcot at night where like you're getting like everything. It's really for the rides. So I think like if you're doing the deluxe resort and doing the extended evening hours, it's probably great. I don't think this is going to be worth it, but I'm willing to make a video about it if that's something you would all like to see. True, after experiencing food and wine on opening day, I'd rather deal with the cold. What's your favorite after hours or party? I have to say, like, Hollywood Studios after hours was probably like, it's so hard to compare them to a party, right? Like I just did, also tell me if the sound is okay in here because I am in my house and I'm in my big room and I know there could be a lot of echo, but unfortunately I can't go into my office where the sound would be better. So if there's something I need to adjust, let me know. So I will say, like after hours, like you really can't beat it because there's really nobody there compared to the parties where parties like the first night I always go to the parties, right? And there's so many people, it's always sold out. I went to a sold out party on December 20th for my birthday, right? And thank you guys. And it was not nearly as crowded as the first night. So there's so many inconsistencies with the parties. Obviously you have the party offering. So it's like if you're there because you want to see the parade and the show and the fireworks and, be there during the holidays, like whether if it's Halloween or Christmas, like that's up to you. If you are trying to like get on as many rides as possible, that is your after hours event for sure. I think that I'm also willing to redo Magic Kingdom after hours because when I did it, we didn't have Tiana's and we didn't have Tron yet. So I'm willing to redo that one if that's something you would be interested in. But for me, like having done Hollywood Studios where you could get onto Tower of Terror, Rise of the Resistance, Rock and Roller Coaster, like every ride of Mickey and Minnie's with like no wait at all, like is a huge deal because you know Hollywood Studios is always going to have the highest waits throughout the 4 Disney parks. So because all the rides that are there are like really, really good. Rip Rockin', why am I happy about this? Yeah, so yes, I don't know if Disney is watching my content, probably. I did my eyebrows so dark today and it's really bothering me. I just caught a glimpse of myself. Sorry. But yes, if you have not heard, my dream came true with a horrible, like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Oh, thank you, Erica. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're doing afterwards at MK next Monday. Nice. Yeah, so Hollywood Studios Rock and Roller Coaster is going to be rethemed to the Muppets Electric Mayhem, which I have said on this channel, you know, a lot. So I cannot believe that's actually happening. Unfortunately, the stipulation is that we're losing Muppet Vision 3D and the entire Muppet Courtyard. And while I was there a few weeks ago, last week, whatever, I just like walked through the Muppet Courtyard and I walked into like upstairs of Pizza Rizzo and I just cried. I'm just so sad. And I'm begging Disney to move that Miss Piggy fountain. It's honestly so culturally like necessary, or not necessarily relevant. Like Chapel Rowan did, like her Chapel Rowan like just did one of her biggest entrances as the Statue of Liberty, but it's the Statue of Liberty as Miss Piggy because if you notice, she does a lot of Miss Piggy stuff. So that is from that for sure. So I don't know. I feel like it's something that we should still, you know, keep around. And it's also so amazing. I'm really sad about Muppet Courtyard for Monsters Inc. of all things. And well, actually, this is where I'm like struggling. It's really upsetting because like I love the Muppet Courtyard and I love everything about that's there. But I was so excited when they announced Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is my favorite Pixar movie, and I was really like, oh well, duh, it's gonna go to Launch Bay. It's gotta go to Launch Bay, and now it's not. So it's like it sucks because I'm losing my Muppet Courtyard, but I still am a little bit excited for Monsters Inc. Like I can't not be. It's still one of my favorite movies, right? I just don't. What stinks about the whole thing is that like I'm going to be in that land and I'm trying to try to be like happy about it, and I just know I won't be because it took away the thing I loved so much, you know. But I am happy that you know the Muppets are getting new life. I think it's really not fair that you know it's gonna be on a ride that a lot of kids can't do, and I think the longevity of the Muppets is introducing them to children, even though the Muppets are for everybody, and actually a lot of the content that the Muppets do is geared toward adults. But you know, I think you know I watched the Muppets my whole life, so I think if you show it to your kids when they're young and they get into it, that's how they stay around. So if you're not being able to see the Muppets because you're not tall enough, you know, then I don't know. But I am excited for Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. I hope they fix the ride. I don't really love Rock and Roller Coaster, and I love coasters. Like I'm a huge coaster person. Like, and I like an extreme coaster, and it's not like because it's extreme. It's not really for me. Like I grew up going to Six Flags, you know, so I was like risking my life all the time. But it's just been when you have a roller coaster with the lap bar goes like, you know, it's not a lap bar, it's the harness, your head can like really start bopping between, and it hurts and it's not fun, and you have to like try to keep your head back, and that's not fun because you're just like trying to focus on keeping your head back instead of just having a good time. And I just feel like the last 2 times I've ridden it, it just hasn't been really as fun for me. And that's kind of how I feel about the Incredible Hulk over at Islands of Adventure. I stopped riding the Incredible Hulk because the last time I rode it, I just got really sick on it. My head was just bopping back and forth. After, you know, years, the rides aren't as smooth. So, yeah, at Hershey Park too. I forgot which coaster has was it the Jolly Rancher one? What if they're retheming Rip Ride Rocket to Aerosmith? Yeah, so another rocking coaster is also going away. Rip Ride Rock at Universal will be closing in September of 2025. And honestly, like if you like that ride, I'm so sorry you are losing your ride. I am thrilled because I hate that ride. I really do. I the last few times I've ridden it, I just don't like it. I just don't feel entirely safe on it. I'm sure it is safe, but like the last time they just did not push my lap bar down enough, and I was really like out of my seat more than I really wanted to be. And again, it's just not smooth. I just didn't enjoy it. So I'm hoping that it's gonna be something really cool. Fall Out Boy needs Disney love. Well, I mean, I don't think they're gonna get a ride, but Fall Out Boy, well, I grew up with Fall Out Boy. They're very good. They're very good. But I think it's the right move for the Muppets to take over because the Muppets are forever. Like they can't age out because they're not human, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like eventually Aerosmith was going to age out. And I think for a lot of Gen Z and young millennials, like as much as like, I don't like not like Aerosmith, like but I think I'm an exception to the young millennial rule because I have a interest in a lot of things. So, yeah, well, Steve Whitmire voiced Rizzo and Kermit, and he didn't retire. They had like a falling out. So I don't know if you've listened to anything with the Muppets recently, but Kermit just sounds not the same. And for some reason, apparently we can't find anybody to do a Rizzo voice. And I think that's where like the Muppets Haunted Mansion kind of had some problems because as much as I love Pepe, Gonzo and Rizzo is the team, and Gonzo and Pepe just doesn't work as well in my eyes. So we'll see what the future is of the actual Muppets, but, Did you realize that also this year, it was the return of park hopping, with no time? Like, remember we had to go to parks after 2 p.m.? January this year, it was January 10th this year, it was we came back to 4 parks anytime. Would you be okay if they rethemed Tower of Terror to the Muppets also? Kind of make it a new Muppets Land? I mean, like, I wouldn't, like, hate it, but I don't want it either. Like, I love Tower of Terror. It's my favorite attraction. I think keep it as it is. I think it's an incredible attraction. I think if you make it into the Muppets, it's gonna lose a lot of the scariness and make it funny. And like I think that over in California Adventure, they do a great job at making like a funny version of that ride. But I, as a spooky person, want to continue to feel spooky. So, and I think it brings a lot of more tension to the ride as well. So no, I don't think it's the great idea. I think it would be funny, but I don't think I would want that. But yeah, I can't believe we did 4 parks, 1-day challenge. I think it was January 9th because they published January 10th that we were able to go back to the parks and go them whenever we want. And we did 1 ride, 1 snack, 1 character in each park. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Because then, I don't know if you remember, at night was a hurricane. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Like I was in Magic Kingdom and like everybody left. It wasn't a hurricane, it was a tornado rather. A tornado was coming and I'm in Magic Kingdom and it's like pouring rain and then all of a sudden like everyone like leaves the park but then like the rain like stops and they do Happily Ever After and I'm in the park and it's like empty and I had the best spot for Happily Ever After. Like I never get to see Happily Ever After unless I'm like in the Contemporary or off one of the hotels because I just won't do the crowds. It's not worth it for me. But there was literally no one there. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. So don't recommend going in a tornado, but like sometimes if you wait out the rain, you get some pretty cool stuff. We also obviously had Epcot's Festival of the Arts last year, which is coming up in a few weeks. It's actually pushed a week this year. It's January 17th. So my video will be out January 18th in the morning. I will cover all the booths. There is also an incredibly cool new feature this year celebrating 30 years of Disney on Broadway. If you saw this year, I was also invited by Disney on Broadway to go backstage to Aladdin. I did a whole video on showing you backstage. And if you saw on socials, they gave me this really great picture opportunity with me and the other people that were invited. We were like doing a photo in front of the Aladdin marquee, and then we turn around and then our name is there on the Aladdin marquee. And it was really, really incredible. It was one of the greatest things like ever. And it was really special, and I'm really excited for them to be bringing Disney on Broadway to Disney World. Obviously, we'll have this concert series, but you'll be able to see a little bit of like some costumes and props used in Aladdin and Lion King. I think that's the only ones they're doing, which is great because they have the exhibit in the Museum of Broadway. If you are in New York and you would like to see, the Museum of Broadway has incredible displays of, lots of Broadway stuff, but like including the 30 years of Disney on Broadway. It was magical. I'm so sorry, Peter, that it's starting later than it's supposed to this year. Speaking of which, it worked out for me that it's starting later because a few days after Festival of the Arts is the opening of the very first Epic Universe attraction. I don't know what you would call it. It's a hotel. Universal Stella Nova Resort will be opening on January 21st, and I will be there, and I will get the video out as soon as possible. I'm hoping that day. I don't know what time they're going to actually let us in, but I am going to film as fast as I can, while being also accurate, and then edit as fast as I can and get it out, because I am so excited to start our Epic journey. This year is going to be incredible with Epic Universe, and I cannot wait to really get into it. And we have Terra Luna coming up in March, and then we have Grand Helios, obviously, on opening day. And then opening day, I'll be at Epic Universe opening weekend, and I cannot wait to bring you all along. I am so excited for this park. It's so incredibly exciting to be able to be at a brand new theme park. Like it's so rare, you know what I mean? Yes, it's going to be epic. I'm actually really excited for Grand Helios Hotel. I think I may do my I'm hoping that there will be some type of previews prior to opening day of Epic Universe, and that way I can do Grand Helios for you all and get that out as soon as possible, because I'm super excited for that hotel. Oh yes, I hope you get your robes. I really hope you get your robes. So this year also was opening of 2 new restaurants in Disney Springs. We had Summer House on the Lake, which was the full service dining, and we had Eat. Well, actually, I think they technically opened in December last year, but I tried it in January last year. And I actually was able to have my husband, Mr. Antics, try Eat on our trip this past week, and Disney Springs during the holiday week is awful. I do not recommend that. But both were really solid options. I think that Summer House on the Lake is something I wouldn't rush back to return to, but I see the audience for it. We also finally had our refurbished rooms at All Star Sports. I'm sorry, Peter. I'm going to be so excited to go on opening day because I'll never get to experience anything like that the rest of my life. Yeah, that's amazing. Yes, wear your Slytherin skirt. But we finally had our refurb of All Star Sports. I don't know if you remember, but was it last year or 2 years ago? They were still not done refurbishing, and they put me in the old room. And I swear I was not sleeping on a mattress. I was sleeping on a box spring with cardboard on top. I had the worst back pain afterwards for so long. I am so glad it's redone. I have now stayed at All-Star Sports multiple times throughout this year. It is fantastic. It might be my favorite All-Star because it's the smallest. I will be going to the grand opening of Epic Universe. I will be there the entire weekend. I will be at the grand opening of Stella Nova Resort, Terra Luna Resort, and Grand Helios Resort. So stay tuned for all of that. There's going to be a lot of epic content coming here, so I really hope you watch that. Even if you're not interested, please just stream it in the background, because I really want to make sure those videos do good. Because I don't know if you know this, but there is no pass holder for Epic Universe, so I have to pay single day tickets which was expensive. So appreciate all the super chats. And, you know, if you're a patron, love that. Thank you for being a patron on Patreon. If you aren't, please join us over on Patreon. You not only get exclusive bonus content, bonus lives like this, you get a lot more details and behind the scenes tea. I just put out a video in Japan on Patreon that's exclusive. And you'll also get a free dining guide to Walt Disney World by Disney for Foodies, access to our Discord where you can chat with me and all of the rest of us all the time, and help with trip planning. Where you can message me anytime you want with any trip planning questions, no matter what, and I will answer everything as much as I possibly can and help you have the best trip possible. My most anticipated ride at Epic Universe is 100% Universal Monsters Unchained. That entire land is my most anticipated. I am so excited for Universal Monsters. I think I'm least excited about Super Nintendo World, and that's only because I've done it both in Japan and in California, but I am super excited for the Donkey Kong expansion. So it's like, it's hard to say, like, I'm not like not excited for it. I'm just like, that's my least because I've done it and I'm privileged and I love that I've done it, but we obviously deserve to have a Super Nintendo World in Orlando. It's so great. If you haven't experienced yet, you are going to love it. You are going to love it so much. I cannot believe how incredibly themed that land is. It's just great. I also did my first, which do you like more, Disneyland or Disney World? You know, it really depends. They're so super different. I really love the charm and like the mistakes in Disneyland. You know, it was the first park. You can really see like all the mistakes. It's very charming. Their Fantasyland is like incredible. But then there are things that like, you know, that Disney World just does better. And like, you know, one of it is having more space, you know. I don't really like to be so bottlenecked. But, you know, I think it really depends. I love California Adventure. I love both. You can't like, for me, you can't really pick or choose. I love them all. Can't wait for Nintendo. I think I'll wait till 2026 or 7. Yeah, maybe. I think that might be the best move. This was also my first year at SeaWorld's, what was it? The Seven Seas Food Festival. And they had incredible food. And I covered every single booth because of crazy, right? But I did, and no one cares about SeaWorld, and that makes me so sad because I think because of the whole, you know, thing that happened with them, you know, they don't really, you know, it's, you know, people aren't going to really, you know what's actually going on there. But I just want to explain that if you like Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is part of like the accreditation, like San Diego Zoo, SeaWorld is also a part of that, and they do a lot for conservation, and they're righting a lot of the wrongs they've done in the past, but they've always done incredible work for conservation. They take animals in and, you know, get them back to health. If they cannot go back into the wild, they have to pay for them, keep them forever. They really do a lot of great stuff, and hopefully people will see that more because I think SeaWorld is a really great place. And yeah, I hope people get excited about it more. Who does Hong Kong Disneyland in the future? I would love that. That's a big trip though. Who doesn't care about it? Well, all I mean is like whenever I post a SeaWorld video, even my holo screen, which I thought would be like more exciting, people just don't watch it as much as my other videos, and that's fine. Like, I get it. That's fine. Do you wish SeaWorld would have Disney Universal quality parks? I mean, yeah, I wish every park would have Disney Universal quality parks. I think that's asking a lot of parks, but I think that's why there is a difference when you go to Disney and Universal. Like most parks now, and like, you know, SeaWorld also is Busch Gardens, and I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg last year, and I've been there for like, that was my 4th time, and I got to do SeaWorld San Diego last year as well, and they're all like very similar, including like their rides are like the same, but they've really leaned into being coaster parks, and I love coasters, but like, how many coasters can you do? You know what I mean? So the variety of the rides that you also have at Disney and Universal, like that's what I wish other parks would kind of do. I think what they see is old news. Yeah, that's, I mean, like, it's hard to beat that bad press, you know? Grew up at Lake Compounds and Six Flags, but I'm not a coaster girl. Oh, wow, I've never been to Lake Compounds, but I'd like to one day. But yeah, I was, like, you know, I'm in New York, so like our closest park is Six Flags. So Have you ever? Yeah, I did a whole video on Knott's Berry Farm. I did the top 5 things you must do at Knott's Berry Farm. I loved Knott's Berry Farm because it's a mix of like coaster and like some charm, and I think that's what a lot of parks are missing. And the fact that like you know, like there's no. It's hard when you don't have an IP, and I said this about Dutch Wonderland this year as well. Those parks kind of like created their own IP, and that's really hard to do, and it's great to do because otherwise then you're just like coaster, 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 right? So let's keep going back on our journey here through the year. We then hit up Mardi Gras, which is going to be back this year, Universal Mardi Gras. It's the 30th anniversary, I believe, of Mardi Gras. Yes, I did do a video of Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I would like to go to Busch Gardens Tampa, but that's really far from Orlando when you don't have a car. So maybe one day my friend Jessie and I will go. She can take me, and like she was talking about going one day, so maybe we'll go together one day. But I've also heard that Tampa doesn't really have much going on, so we'll see. But I love Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I like to go every few years. Hello, Neely. Happy New Year to you. I'm ashamed to admit I've never been to any of those special events at Disney Universal. Do not be ashamed. First of all, they are expensive, and like only certain times a year. Do not be ashamed. If you get to do it, it's like a great thing that you get to do. And, you know, like that's something to be happy about, but don't ever feel ashamed that you can't do something. I didn't get to do any of this stuff when I was a kid. Part of the reason why I started this channel is because I wanted to make sure everyone knows what's going on and does the right thing. Because when I first went to Disney, I was an adult. I went once as a child. Somehow my mom was able to take me, but I grew up with a single parent and we lived in a very small 1-bedroom apartment. Like we had very little. I didn't get to go to these places. So I am so appreciative of being able to do any of this. And I want everyone to remember that these are special places, you know, and it's so great to be able to have the opportunity to be there. And so whatever you can even, just even being in the vicinity, like, you know, it's great to be thankful for any of it. It's really incredible. Curiously through people like Demi. Yeah, I mean, and I'm happy to be a person that people can escape into and, you know, see the parks through my eyes, and that's why I'm here. But yes, back to Mardi Gras. Universal Mardi Gras is coming up February 1st. My video will be out February 2nd of all the booths and the parade and any changes. I don't believe that a lot of changes are happening, even though it is the 30th anniversary. I do have a little bit of tea because I know people that work there, and it just seems like because of Epic and kind of like how I said about Horror Nights this year, you can definitely see some of the cutbacks. Even it's not running as long. It's running only until March 30th. It usually runs in through April. So this is a much shorter Mardi Gras. Who has the best hotels, Disney or Universal? I love both so much. It really depends on like what you're looking for, but I cannot beat the pricing and what you get at the Universal hotels. So I will say that. I definitely stay, you know, I stay at both a lot. I think like this past week I stayed at my favorite Disney resort, which is Grand Destino Tower at Coronado, not just like the outside room, specifically Grand Destino. I think it's beautiful. I think it's, you know, the fact that it's not a deluxe resort and you get that deluxe resort feel is incredible. It's like huge rooms, super comfortable bed, huge bathroom, double sinks, and you have Toledo and Dahlia Lounge, which we were in Dahlia Lounge twice in just like the 3 days we were there. Like it's fantastic. And the beds in Disney are fantastic. Even in All Stars, I love the beds. So you have like that going for it. Versus the things I don't really love about Universal is like sometimes I don't love the beds, right? But I love the themings, and I love that there's a Starbucks, and I love the food more is better in those resorts. And the pricing is a lot better from those resorts. Did you stay at French Quarter after the refurb? I have not. That is something that I need to and want to do. It's just, you know, they're expensive. You know, I have to wait until there's like a decent deal. You know, I pay for everything that you see so that you get honest reviews, and obviously, you know, like I have to get it somehow, right? So I'm so blessed to have hit 20,000 subscribers. It was an incredible achievement this year, and I really appreciate all of that. But in the grand scheme of things, I am still a relatively small channel, and I only have a budget of so much that I can do, right? So we will get to it, I promise. Hi from the UK. I'm thinking of going to Disneyland. Is it hard to get from LAX? Can you recommend a good partner hotel? Yes. So I flew LAX. I actually went from LAX straight to Universal, and then from Universal to a partner hotel. I did a full tour of the Anaheim Majestic Gardens Hotel. If you go see my video there, you'll see it. It's actually really great. There's a free shuttle, and it's going to be a little bit, I think, better priced than the ones that are like walkable. But it's close by. It's going to take about like 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, to get there, but that's just kind of the reality of California driving, right? But if you're flying out of, but you're going to be closer if you're in LAX. I left out of Burbank, but that's because I was already in Hollywood at Universal, and I liked the Burbank airport a lot more. It's much smaller, much easier to get around. But LAX, you'll definitely have, not too hard of a time to get there. So Anaheim Majestic Garden Hotel, look that up on the channel and see the tour. Off topic, do you remember if Pop Century rooms have ceiling fans? I don't believe so. I think the only rooms that have ceiling fans are like Coronado, and I think any of the ones that have like the outside rooms like that, where it's like one level or two level. I would go back into my Pop Century. It's been a minute since I stayed at Pop Century, so go back to my Pop Century review and see if there's a fan. I don't believe so. Oh, and thank you so much, Erica. But yeah, so Mardi Gras video will be out February 2nd. Very excited about that. And wow, okay, so let me take a sip of water. I've been talking nonstop for 36 minutes. I think the French Quarter does. Okay, I think that, it was, I thought it was Riverside that had the refurb. I'll take a look at it again. I haven't really looked. I also discovered one of the best brunches in all of Orlando, at least in the theme parks, and that is at the Kitchen at Universal's Hard Rock Hotel. And I went there so many times since. Sunday brunch is unbelievably great. It's unlimited Bloody Mary mimosa that does not exist anywhere in other theme parks, and the food is fantastic and the atmosphere is great. Highly recommend that for sure. Did you go to that super expensive bakery at Disney Springs? I did a full video on afternoon tea at the Cake Bake Shop. It's not in Disney Springs. It's on the boardwalk at Disney. It used to be the ESPN bar. So I did, it was, what was it? $100 and how many dollars? So many dollars. I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. It was $124 for afternoon tea. So I highly recommend you going to check out that video. A lot of people have it. It has like 16,000 views already, because it's something that is unbelievably like, what is happening here? Kind of questioning. Like I go over a lot of the pricing. I go over how to book it, because you can't just book it online or through the Disney app. So you need to tell me if you think it's worth it. I think there's some really great things about it, and then I think there are a lot of misses, and I don't know if that means that the price is justified, especially if you read the comments of other people. You can see what other afternoon teas are like. You think that's a good price for afternoon tea? It's honestly, it depends. It depends. Yes, I know, yes, Orleans French Quarter does have fans. Yes, I knew that one. And then, what do we have next? We had Flower and Garden this year. Not my favorite Flower and Garden year this year. We'll hopefully have a better one next year. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But we had a brand new menu at Circus McGurkus at Universal, and a brand new menu at Mel's Drive-In. Wasn't really a fan of either if you saw those videos. I really like that they're trying. I just really wasn't into either of the menus, and I really wish Mel's would be better. And it just makes me sad. But that's kind of the reality of it. If you want to go see them, they're on the channel. I also stayed at Saratoga Springs this year. I can't believe that was this year. Oh my God. gosh, it feels like a billion years ago, actually. That was truly a wild experience. I did a full tour. It took forever because it's huge, right? It's a huge resort. But it was such a wild experience for me because something you may not know about me is I grew up going to Belmont Racetrack. My family loved going, gambling on horses, right? So, but the Belmont had like family day and like it was outside and it was like a park. So it was really nice, right? So when I was there and all of a sudden I hear da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I kind of had an out of body experience. I was like, oh, this is weird. Where am I? I really found a love for that resort. It is definitely not for everybody, but the room refurbishments are fantastic. Oh my goodness, this year was the year that we rediscovered that Garden Grill has changed. And that one really broke my heart, everyone. If you go and watch that video, it's just like, I just don't understand what happened. It used to be such a great experience. I really hope that, it gets fixed. It was really kind of upsetting to see. When I first went to WDW back in 2004, I stayed at the Grand Floridian. It was awesome. That's awesome. I actually still have not stayed at the Grand Floridian. And the only monorail resort I've ever stayed at is I did the Contemporary, which I didn't love if you saw my review. But I would love to do Polynesian. I would love to do Grand Floridian. Again, those are the most expensive. So someone wants to send me, go ahead, send away. But yeah, this is also the year, a little bit out of the main Orlando parks. It's the 50th anniversary of Six Flags Great Adventure. And they had all this stuff talked about coming, blah, 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 right? And I went opening day. And the only thing that actually happened was they removed my wonderful King Ka. And they did it without telling the public. And so it was all based off of rumors. And I was in Disney when it closed. So I did not get to ride probably my favorite coaster of all time one last time, and I am devastated. The tallest, fastest coaster in the world is now gone, and I'm really, really annoyed. They also opened that Savannah Sunset, and then I just never heard anything about it or from it, and I tried reaching out about it to them and didn't hear anything, so there you go. That's what that is. I don't know if anything is really, going with that. Wow, where are we up to? We are up to March. Oh, March this year was so fun because it was a very last minute decision to go down, and I went with Alexa, and we had a great time, and my echo just went off. Alexa, stop. Alexa, my friend. And we stayed at that Harry Potter Airbnb, and I did that tour, and it was such a great option, right smack in the middle between Disney and Universal, 2 floors, laundry, full kitchen. It was so great, and it was so cheap, and we got it so cheap, and it was during spring break. Highly recommend that Airbnb. All the listing is in the description box. It's something I highly recommend. I also got to go to Boma for breakfast this year, and then what was so great is I was with Alexa for that, right? And she came down for my birthday, and we went back for my birthday, so I had Boma for breakfast on my birthday, and it was great, and I love Boma so much, and getting my zebra striped cold brew, whatever it's called, is so good. Oh my goodness. April was the return of 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian, and I had my favorite outfit ever when I Disney bounded as Mirabelle. I know my hair is a little straight-ish today because I am getting my hair cut tomorrow, and if you don't know this, when you have curly hair, you have to wash your hair and then do your hair as you normally do it, and then you go to the salon, and then they cut it, and then they rewash it and redo everything. So that's why it's kind of brushed out today, because I wasn't gonna do my hair today if I had to do it again tomorrow, because that is girl brain. You're going to Boma for breakfast next week? Yes! I love that. I think the best video you did was the coffee video. I loved my coffee video. I did skip over that, but I loved my Disney coffee video. You want to hear a secret? I made a Universal one, and I never released it because things kept changing, so I couldn't release it. It was so like weird. Like I will have to like, I don't know if any of it is usable. I have to like, I think I have to refilm the entire video. It's just, it's unfortunately Universal again with their food and snack game is just so hard to like, you know, so they just don't have the variety of coffee like Disney does, you know, so it wasn't as an exciting video. Hopefully I can redo it and at least show you. I could make it a Patreon exclusive. I think I will make it like a normal video eventually. I just have to kind of redo it. But yeah, I loved my coffee video. I loved doing my Epcot hangover video. I think it was like, I know a lot of people didn't watch that one. I don't think people really understood what it was. It was really hard to kind of market, but it's just, I love it because it's all the food that like after you are drinking around around the world all day, or you're just like walking in the parks all day, it's that food that just hits so good. You know what I mean? Like, and I like the idea. I guess people didn't really get it. But 1900 Park Fair came back this year. I finally got to meet Mirabelle. That was like the first time I met her, and I was in my Mirabelle Disney bound, and it was great because like I don't look like anyone, and so like the closest person I look like is Mirabelle when my hair is normally curly. So that was really awesome. I also did my first time at Universal's Volcano Bay this year. Yes, thank you. I think so too. I was walking around Magic Kingdom afterwards and I saw like kids were like staring at me like, is that Mirabelle? So I'll take it. Mirabelle is from Encanto. So you can see that video on the channel as well. And it's a great breakfast buffet. Absolutely love that one. Also, thank you all again for the super chats. I really appreciate them. I did put a goal up if you'd like to contribute. Again, everything goes back into the channel. If you want to become a patron on Patreon, you'll still get so much exclusive bonus content, lives, access to the Discord, help with trip planning, and a free dining guide to Walt Disney World by Disney for Foodies. Like, I'm actually we're gonna try to work something new out with our new Enchanted Foodie guides this year, so it's really exciting. And again, everything goes back into the channel, and I really appreciate your support. If you can't do that, just keep playing my videos on a loop in the back of your computer. Just have them keep playing. It'll really help, and liking and commenting on and sharing them is always going to be the best as well. So I really appreciate all your support. So back to this year, we did Volcano Bay for the first time, which was so great. I really loved Volcano Bay. I really hope to be able to go back soon. I think it's just like such an outstanding theme park, water park rather, and I think that the best part is that Tapu Tapu, not having to wait on any lines. The River of Death, oh my goodness. If you saw on TikTok or social media, I apparently make the best content in a lazy river. I had two videos go, two of my lazy river, I did 2 lazy river videos this year, and they both went super viral. I did almost die that day. It was really rough. But I really loved it. That's what we do. We watch over and over. Oh, I appreciate that, Erica. Thank you so much. But it was great, and it was great for being solo because not all water parks are really solo friendly. Like when I did the DreamWorks water park in New Jersey, luckily Mark came up from Florida to visit family, and we went, and if I went by myself, I don't think I would have been able to do like a bunch of the rides, right? So that was great. We also did the top 5 worst eats in Magic Kingdom this year. One of my favorites. Definitely go check that out because I think it's really important that there's a lot of, there's especially something that's very popular in the parks that, people like to get. I tell you the truth about it. Go watch that if you haven't. And then, I did a whole guide to Universal City Walk eats this past year with all the quick service. And I really hope that they do more. I think that's kind of where I'm at. I think City Walk could use some more quick service-y food. We also did the 15 exclusive snacks at Hollywood Studios this year, including the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my life, which was those savory churros in front of that awful stand that's in front of Muppet Courtyard blocking its beauty. Hydraulics, oh my gosh. It was so gross. It was so gross. It was terrible. And it was like eating cardboard too on top of it. We also, I haven't been keeping up with this, but did they improve the waffles at Sleepy Hollow? No. No. It's over. It's over. I'm gonna have to redo my Magic Kingdom top 5 quick service video. Because it's just not great anymore. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not what I want. Hashtag it's over. Yeah. We also checked out finally my favorite place to eat, I think, in Orlando, Strong Water Tavern, which is at Universal's Sapphire Falls Resort. It's a tapas and rum bar. Hi, Megan. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. It's so insanely good. The quality of the food and the drinks are outstanding. The best food I've eaten at Universal, probably the best food I've eaten, period, in the parks, in all the parks. I took my friends when they came down, and they loved it too. Do you have a favorite character dining restaurant? That's a tough one. You know what? Like, I think I have to say Crystal Palace for breakfast because you get Mickey churro waffles and they're the best. And also I love Winnie the Pooh. I think like, and I've been to that like multiple times, like Sans channel, like, you know what I mean? I think it's just like a really good breakfast. Sometimes they have that breakfast lasagna. When I went back last time, they didn't. I was so mad. But usually a really solid breakfast. I did love 1900 Park Fair as well. But you can't really beat those Mickey churro waffles. They're so good. Have you gone to Gatorland in Florida? Are you a fan of gators? I have not. When I was down this week, and my friend Alexa came down, she went one day to Gatorland because she was blocked out of Disney. And she went, it was like $15. Yeah, Megan, I have a whole video on it on the channel as well. It's fantastic breakfast. But she went, it was like $15 for the entire day. And she had the best time. And like, I don't know if it's for me. Listen, I am so happy that my panhandle friend got to have a fun gator day. She brought me back some gator jerky, which I did not eat, but my husband did, and I won't do that. But I'm open to anything, and I would definitely like to do it once just to say that I did it. I don't know if it's really for me, but I love to cover it. Yes, I have done Artist Point. I loved Artist Point. It's only for dinner though. And I did it when they first reopened, so we had like distancing meet and greets, and it was still great. So like, imagine when it wasn't, right? It's also on the channel. Do we not speak of Chef Mickey? No. You can see my Chef Mickey video. You can see, it's just, oof. Don't you wish Universal would have character dining? They do, and they did. There's supposed to be like a Captain America Marvel dining. I don't know if they still do it. I'm gonna look it up. And then obviously we had the Chef Mickey's for the birds, literally. Yeah, it's disgusting. Literally there's birds flying into the restaurant because of the monorail. It's really gross. And it's a buffet. Use your imagination. Universal character dining. I haven't seen it in a while. Obviously I did the Grinch character dining, which if you saw my Grinchmas video this year, my Universal Holidays video, it was not the same, and it was very disappointing, and it took many long hours. So yes, they do still have the Marvel character dinner. It's a dinner. It's a buffet. It's at, let's see, Feast with Marvel. It's $56.99 for adults, $31.99 for children. It's at Cafe 4 in Islands of Adventure. And you get buffet, 1 non-alcoholic beverage, 1 digital download of a photo with a character, and that's it. And it's, again, it's here, I'll show you. It's these characters, these Marvel characters, the Marvel comic characters. So like, personally don't know like if that's super appealing to a lot of people at this point, because it's no shade to Universal. I love Universal. They look like they're in like a Halloween costume, right? Like compared to like a Disney Marvel costume, right? And it's not their fault 100% because they are bound to being the comics, right? But it is there, but I don't think it's really worth it because you can very easily meet all of these characters throughout the day. But if this is something you would want me to do, I can try to see about doing it. I would like to do it I would make one of my friends do it with me because I just don't like doing character dinings alone. I've done them alone. I just don't like to do them alone. You also still need your park ticket to be able to do it. Actually, let me see. Is this like possible? They're available in January and February. Yeah, they're like all available. If that's something you want to see, let me know and I will do it. But I will make somebody go with me for that one. Jade B, I absolutely cannot wait to watch your videos, Epic Universe. I won't be there until September 2025, and we'll get all of my research from you. Oh, I'm so excited for you that you get to go in September, and I am so excited to be able to bring you all of it, because I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for Epic. No, Mr. Antics will not go with me. Mr. Antics does not really come down to the parks that much. Obviously, like, that would be then 2 plane tickets all the time, and so it would be a lot. But he will be coming down for Mardi Gras. That's the one holiday that he like really likes to come down to, and I got him a pass this year for Universal because he came down with our friends this year, and so it was like worth it. So I was like, well, you'll come to Mardi Gras this year because you have a pass. But no, he doesn't normally come. I'll make like Jesse or somebody go with me if that's something you want to see. But it is, again, $56.99. So go become a patron on Patreon. Have you seen Dr. Squatch Harry Potter soaps? No, I don't know what that is. I love Harry Potter soaps. I mean, I assume I do. But yeah, and then we have come to June, everybody, of 2024, which was the greatest trip ever, Japan. I still cannot believe I went. Mr. Antics could not believe that he also went because he really, truly didn't believe that we were going until like I said, no, I bought tickets. I bought plane tickets. We're going to Japan. And he was like could not believe I never am very impulsive because I'm like very like nervous about things when it comes to like big purchases. The biggest purchase of Japan trip was our plane tickets, obviously. So I was just like, you know what? They're not like the most expensive right now. They're still super expensive, but they would get more expensive. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and book. And I did it. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. And yes, I am still missing those egg sandwiches. Luckily, New York has opened a ton of Japanese marts. So I have gotten a lot of great stuff. I have now like gallons of oolong iced tea. I get my waffle ice cream sandwiches, which I love. And one place has the egg sandwiches. It's not exactly the same because the bread is a little different, but it's still pretty good. So I'm very happy that happened because when I came home, I had really bad, like the sadness inside of me from the trip that I was missing mostly was the convenience store culture. And I really hope now that, the people that own 7-Eleven in Japan bought the 7-Elevens in the US. I hope that, they fix those up and make them more like the 7-Elevens in Japan. Have they started charging tourists more in Japan yet? Because there's been more news that Japan might start charging international tourists to lower overcrowding tourism. No, when we went, the yen was very much in our favor. Like, it was crazy. Like, that's why I'm saying the flight was the biggest cost because everything while we were there wasn't too bad because we just like the yen was like so in our favor, you guys. So that was great. I did catch them try to give me an American price menu once, but I caught them and I said no. So if you do go to Japan, and I think, I have to say, it's not just Japan, it's all over the world. When you go when you're a tourist, like this is a thing that they'll do. Like they will give you the tourist upcharge, right? I live in New York, and I've never seen really anything like that here. I live in one of the most popular places to come to, right? And then I go to Orlando, obviously, right, all the time, which is another huge popular place that people from all over the world come to. We don't have tourist tax here. And I think it's really like not fair that the rest of the world just thinks that that's okay. And that you have to be super like vigilant about like what you're doing. Like when I saw them give me the American tourist tax higher price menu. And like, I think it's, it takes away from people wanting to travel. And yeah, like maybe there are too many people traveling to Japan now, but like places rely on tourism, right? So I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure like something will more happen with that, but when I went to Japan, it wasn't. Thank you so much, James, for subscribing. So glad that you could be here. We're just talking about into when I went to Japan this year. We did so much. I posted my 26-hour journey from New York to Canada to Japan to Tokyo. Well, you landed in Tokyo to then go to Osaka. And wow, what a journey it was. It was a lot, but it was fun, and even it was a lot. And I love their transportation system. I love their bullet trains there. We got to spend one full day in Osaka, and if you want to see our one full day in Osaka, please join us over on Patreon, where you can unlock that video. It is a Patreon exclusive video. Mr. Antics, my husband, is in it, and I just bring you along through our day. And if you were ever thinking about going to Japan, and the reason we went to Osaka is because that's where Universal is in Japan, and it's like a 3-hour train ride away, and it's a great city. So we did a whole day before we went to Universal. We did like all the highlights. We walked like 26,000 steps. So highly, highly recommend it for sure. May you please shout out my channel, trying to post more content. No problem, Spirited Review EXC. How did you enjoy Land of the Rising Sun? It was amazing. I think about it every day. I dream about it a lot, that we go back. I want to be there all the time. I'm considering retiring somehow in Japan. I probably won't, but I loved it so much. I love that country. I love the culture. I love like how just like things work there. It's like a better version of New York. And you could take the subway to Universal and Disney. Like, it's fantastic. So like it has everything I need, right? You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. You just keep chugging at it. But then after that, obviously, we did Universal Japan. I did put that one out a little bit later because obviously we were there for the opening of Fantasy Springs, and I wanted to like get into the country and do a little filming first. And obviously I didn't want to like have to put out videos while I was there, but I did put out the Fantasy Springs one while I was there. And it worked out great because of the time difference. By the time that I was done editing, it was the morning for you guys, and I was able to put out that video. And I got to the park at 4 a.m. I think about 4:15 maybe I got there. I had to take basically like an Uber version of, like an Uber, but a different app in Japan. And because of the hotel I was staying at, they had to call me to like see which one I was at. And I just kind of picked up context clues, and I just said the name of it and arigato gozaimasu. And then like they picked me up, and he was super nice, and I got there, and there were still so many people in front of me, as you guys saw. If you saw the video, I highly recommend you watch if you didn't. And then we got in. We got into Fantasy Springs opening day. It was the smartest thing I did was have Mr. Antics. While I booked the paid ones, I had him book. I knew that Tangled and Frozen were going to be the highest, most popular ones, so I told him to book Peter Pan. And that way we were in much earlier than the actual, than the paid ones, which got us in like at 1 o'clock. So we got in at like 10 o'clock. It was amazing. Yes, people are a lot nicer in Japan. Which do you like better, Tokyo Disney or Universal Studios Japan? So I loved being able to be at both. I will say I like because it's so similar, Universal. Like at times, like if you saw like videos and stuff, the videos, like I felt like I was just in Orlando with a lot of minor changes. So because of that, like it gets a lot of points demoted for me, right? But that's only because I love Orlando. I don't know, and I'm in Orlando all the time. Like, I don't know, like maybe if I've never been to the Orlando park, maybe I would like that better, right? But I will say Tokyo Disney, especially Tokyo Disney Sea. Disney does not own Tokyo Disney. The company that does own it puts a lot of money into these parks. And you have to remember this, like that's like their business. They're putting the money into the park. It's not like Disney is is a huge company where they have, they have their television, they have Disney Plus, they have the parks, they have movies. There's all these departments, the news, like, so their budget's going everywhere, right? There's so much money put into these parks. They are immaculate. And Japan is like that in general. Like, it's very clean. It is so beautiful and immaculate and just like pristine. It is something like I've never seen before, even in the US parks. It is next level. Like, I don't think any park will be better than Tokyo Disney Sea, in regards to, even to isn't Disneyland, but like especially Sea, you can see it a lot. I don't think there's anything more, like, I don't want to say opulent, but like it's kind of a little bit. It's just next level. It's something that I've really never seen before, and I don't know anything else that really does like it. Japan also has Godzilla movies. Yes, I don't blame you. Japan looks fabulous. Yes, I want to go back. Honestly, like I would go back. Like we talk about it a lot. Like we really didn't get that much time in like Tokyo proper, and we had 2 days. And really, like, there really wasn't enough, and we were so tired by that point of our trip. We would like to go back and, like Mr. Antics, like, I don't want to go to the parks. I just want to go to Tokyo. I'm like, okay, sure. We're still going to go to the parks if we go back, like, obviously. But less time in the parks and more time in Tokyo. We also only had, like, 10 days total with travel, so we just didn't really have that much time. And a lot of people who didn't believe you were there at 4 a.m. Yes, so many people didn't believe I was there at 4 a.m. because they don't believe, as I think it was James that said it, the land of the rising sun is named that for a reason. And it threw us off. Like our sleep schedule was so off because the sun rises so early there. So we were up at like 5 a.m. every day, and we didn't, and like we just couldn't like get on like a normal schedule. But that helped me, I guess, when I had to, get up and go to Fantasy Springs, right? Oh, excuse me. Oh, hold on. Anyway. Oh, what is this? What is this? Hold on. Do you still see me? Did you still see me when I just did that? I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so yeah, I think like it's, don't they have Pepsi products in Japan parks too? I don't remember. I don't drink soda, so I don't really know. Allie, Happy New Year, Demi. Having visited Japan, did it make you feel different about the Japan Pavilion at Epcot? Does it do a pretty accurate job with the shopping, dining, etc.? Well, okay, so yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I have a lot of feelings about Epcot in general. I think that there are some things that like Epcot does really well in the terms of like the architecture. Like if you look at Italy and like you actually look at the place in Italy where it's copying, it looks identical. I think that there's a lot of great architecture in the Japan Pavilion, and it looks really great. I think Mitsukoshi is 100% a very like realistic store that you would find in Japan. It's also something that you would find in any kind of Japanese store in the US. I don't know if, but I live in New York, so I have like a lot of like niche things here. I love Mitsukoshi. I just was in there the other day. I think it's very funny that you can buy Nintendo things in Disney World. Having said that, I have not really fully dined in Japan other than the quick service and the festivals. I haven't done the hibachi because I just don't find that interesting. I think there's hibachi everywhere. And also I don't really want to go to that alone and be put with like a family with children and accidentally film children. I just don't want to be in that situation as a creator, right? So if I had like a full group of people, I would do it eventually. And then the other place is very expensive. So I don't know. The really big difference about Japan, and you cannot recreate it, is just they're on the water, and everything in Japan is like, all the fish is so fresh, and you just will never really get that here, no matter like how good the sushi is. And there's great sushi in New York, some of the best in the world, right? But literally the smallest of places in Japan will have better sushi because the fish is fresh, right? The fish is fresh. The fish is fresh. So, you know, it's the Japan quick service, like as you saw, it's in my hangover video. It's very like mall type food. Like it's not like real great Japanese food. Did you see any of the classic Japanese castles? Yes, we went to a lot of stuff. And if you become a patron, we went to the Osaka castle. It was incredible, like up close in person, like it's so impressive. And we did a lot of the historical stuff during our trip, and that's why kind of we want to go back to do a little less historical stuff. You know, I was really trying to make this a trip and a work thing, so I didn't like film. I thought I would film a lot more, but I just like, at the same time, it was my first time there, and my husband had no idea what we were doing. I was in charge of everything, like the itinerary, and I'm like controlling, like I'm making sure that we're like in the right place all the time. So I'm like using my phone to like Google Maps everything and making sure we're walking the right way. And it was a lot and confusing. And so it was really kind of too hard to like film like full videos except for that Osaka day, right? So I took like little videos here and there, but if I go back, I would maybe do a little more. I heard that I heard they have some awesome snacks if you go through the town of Japan and a beautiful view. Well, there's snacks all throughout Japan. It's fantastic. Great snacks. And actually, a lot of them you can get at Mitsukoshi. Not a lot, but like, I mean, like, yes, like a good amount. You still want Godzilla somehow in one of the Japanese parks. I usually don't drink soda either, but once in a while, Pepsi. Okay. I always liked Coke more. Japan also has the samurai and ninja warriors. Yeah. There's a lot of like really cool like historical things that you could see all about that as you travel. And you know, there's like a lot of temples, and they're just really cool, and it's just so old. Like you have to remember, like the US like is so young compared to the rest of the world, and it's just really cool. Like and I've been to Europe, like I've been to France, and I thought like that was really old, right? And then you go to Japan and their stuff is even older. It's so cool. Mochi's okay. It's some of it's, I like some of it. I like the alien mochi that we got in Disneyland. I really love Tokyo Disneyland. I think that it was kind of like Disneyland. I'm sorry, like Magic Kingdom, but like with more space. That's what it felt like. And also with a mix of Disneyland in there. But I just loved how open it was. There's just so much space there. That hub, like, oh my gosh, there's like, it was really easy to get a spot for, they didn't do fireworks, the nighttime parade, if you saw it, was amazing. I'm so glad I got to do their version of Space Mountain before they refurbished it, because that actually felt like, people were like, oh, which Space Mountain is better, Disney World or Disneyland? They are not the same ride. I'm sorry, like you can't say one is better than the other. One is literally like a tiny little rocket ship that goes like this, and the other is like a modern roller coaster. Like you cannot compare them. But this one was very much more similar to the Disney World one, and it was like a kind of like a more like souped up modern version of that, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad we got to do it before it closed, because that's one of our favorite rides of all time. Definitely my favorite Tokyo Disneyland or Disney Sea. It was definitely Disney Sea. It's super unique. That volcano is so cool. The rides are super unique. Obviously, Fantasy Springs is a dream. I cried when I had to leave. I did not want to leave. I was like holding on for dear life, like, no, don't make me go. I love it here so much. Don't make me go back to those parks in the US because the quality is just like unbelievable. And it's just like the new rides that they had, like that Frozen ride, those animatronics and that ride in general, I cannot believe how good it was. Like, it was unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. And I hope that Disney World has, follow suit in it. It's funny that they frown upon eating off the top of trash cans. You can't like, in the parks, I think it's a little more like relaxed, but like you really shouldn't either. Japan, you cannot eat or drink and walk. Like, I was in a market in Kyoto and like I got a matcha and she literally was like, do not walk with this. And like, I already knew that at that point, but like, obviously, like, American tourists, like, you can't trust what we know. And I was like, okay. Like, I wasn't going to, but okay, I won't, I promise. It's like a thing. And as a New Yorker, as someone who has constantly walking and eating and drinking my entire life, it was definitely a challenge and, something I had to really try to get used to. Yeah. They don't have trash can. Yeah, you have to like hold your trash. If you join on Patreon, you'll see our Osaka day. I like eat something and then I put the garbage in my bag until I'm able to throw it away at some other point. So, and it's funny, you would think there's no garbage, it would be dirty, but people are just better there and they don't litter, right? So, so it's like clean. And I guess because there's no trash all over. But I love Tokyo Disneyland. I love their parade. I cannot believe how hot it was when we were there. It was blazing sun. I'm glad I had my umbrella to block out the sun. I had to I love that they sit for the parades. As a short person, I really appreciate that. But it was so hot that I had to put I had some type of map or something underneath me to sit on. Then had the umbrella because it was so hot. I didn't bring the umbrella hat. No, the umbrella hat is for food and wine. It's great for like certain days in the parks, but it's it's not always so stable. So I had to just bring a umbrella and it's also they're not compactable. Like, I need somebody to make an umbrella hat that's compactable. It's literally like this big that I would have to carry. So versus this big of an umbrella that opens up to full size, right? Yeah, that's the really only stinky part about it. And then Disney Sea was incredible. The food there was incredible. We did Magellan's. Was that Magellan's? Was that called that? Yeah. And oh my gosh, the aerial ice cream, and then going, oh my God, under the sea Little Mermaid section is unreal. It's unbelievably incredible, right? I just cannot believe how beautiful this place is. How would you feel if Tokyo Disney made a Studio Ghibli land, not that other Studio Ghibli park? I mean, I'm sure it would be done great. We didn't have a chance to go to the Studio Ghibli thing, and I heard it wasn't that great. I am also I'm familiar with it, but I'm not I'm not an ongoing fan of it. It's just not for me, but I appreciate the work, and I think that I've seen some of the work and it's fantastic, but I'm not I don't really know it too well, right? But whatever Disney would do in Japan, it's going to be top tier. But yeah, it was incredible. It was a dream come true to be there. And then what was so crazy was we got back from Japan. I need to look at the calendar because I want to get this right. And it's such a long flight. And I had also a layover in Canada. Not that long either, but just it's a whole thing. We got back, what day was it? It was June. We left May 31st and got back June 10th. And then June 13th, I had to fly down to Orlando because it was my pass holder preview for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And it was the opening of DreamWorks Land at Universal. So it was wild. If you look at my order of my videos, I had to say, we're taking a break from the Japan videos because Tiana's is open now. It literally cut in through Japan. It was crazy. And then the opening of DreamWorks. And real quick, I really love Tiana's. I think that I still don't love the water rides. Like, it's funny because like I like the idea of a log flume. I just hate being wet. But I was never a fan of Splash Mountain. And I think that Tiana's is just so fun, so joyful. The animatronics are great. And Princess and the Frog is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think it's really fun to see, like, I know a lot of people are disappointed that it's not like a dark ride and Dr. Facilier and whatever, but like, I forget that she's a princess because this ride just shows her being a boss and like being a successful entrepreneur. And I just think that's it's so great to see that. I think it's so cool. I think the queue with all the letters from her dad are just beautiful. I think they really did an amazing job with it. And then, it's funny because that was a retheme. DreamWorks Land was a retheme, and I love DreamWorks Land. I cannot believe how good it came out. It is so colorful and like happy, and like there's so much going on, and you have Shrek Land and Trolls and Kung Fu Panda, and then you have that really great show. Like, it's an actual show finally versus what the heck ever it was before that, right? I think they did so great. They're finally adding some snacks, which I was so happy to see. Like, Universal is upping their snack game. They're trying, they're doing their best, and I think, DreamWorks Land is the great place to really start that journey of like really trying to do that. Yes. What did DreamWorks take over? Yes, it was Woody Woodpecker, Kids Zone. And listen, like, no shade to Woody Woodpecker. Like, I love Woody Woodpecker. Why not, right? But like, no kid knows Woody Woodpecker. I barely know Woody Woodpecker, right? Like, I know it because I, again, am kind of a different millennial. Like, I like a lot of old things. But this was the right thing to do. This was so the right thing to do. And it came out it looked so bad. It looked so uncolorful before and just like sad. And it's just vibrant and beautiful. And you just walk from one land to the next. It was such a great idea. And I love it. I think like the fact that there's Shrek Swamp is in Universal is so cool. I wish you could go through it. But it's there, and Donkey is back, and you can talk to Donkey, and there's a slide that far. It's like, is insane, you know what I mean? And you can talk to Poe and do Kung Fu. I think it's so great. Do you think Universal should bring The Secret Life of Pets to Florida? I love Secret Life of Pets. When we did that in Hollywood, that was my favorite ride. My thing about the parks, though, and this is kind of why I didn't love Universal Japan, is I wish that there were more differences, because that makes me want to go to more of the parks. Like, the Disney parks have so many differences, and Universal is kind of like copy paste. In Hollywood, like I did the video of like everything in Hollywood that's not in Orlando, and it's a small list, it's not that big of a list. It's like, Jurassic World versus Park, which is, like it's just like a better version of Jurassic Park. Obviously Super Nintendo, which it won't be anymore, right? So like that, I'm not even gonna add that. So it's like Jurassic World, Secret Life of Pets, the Kung Fu Panda 3D movie, and Waterworld, the show, and the tram tour. I think that's it. And now the Fast and Furious coaster. Unless they decide to make Fast and Furious coaster take over Rip Ride Rocket. It's a possibility that that's what they'll do, and then they're going to get rid of Supercharged, which will kind of hurt my heart a little because I love that ride. It's so bad that it's good. Oh, yeah, and Jaws. Jaws, that was the best part of going to Japan for Universal, was being able to do Jaws, because I never got to do that here. So that was amazing. I didn't know Waterworld. Surprisingly, it was not a movie that I really knew, and I know a lot of movies, but because it's actually like considered not a good movie, but the show was incredible, and it was really weird. The bad guy sounded like Tom Kenny from SpongeBob, the person who voices SpongeBob, but I loved it. But I like when the parks have differences. I also got to do SeaWorld Aquatica's Aquaglow event. That was so fun. It was, you know, after hours, nighttime, all the glow. It was so cute. It was fun. I had a great time. I think it's a really fun little after hours event that you could do, and it's great that it's at night because during the summer it's still hot, so you're not out in the blazing sun. But yeah, the foam was gross. I was not here for the foam. One of my favorite things that we did this year is we checked out a few restaurants that have had like really bad reviews in the past and see if they had a glow up with their new menu. And we were very happy to find out that, they did glow up. Tony's Town Square in Magic Kingdom has always been named the worst restaurant. And Coral Reef in Epcot, always named the worst restaurant. I love Tony's now. Like, I loved it. I want to go back and get that tower of garlic bread and cheese. I thought that was so delicious. And I think Coral Reef, it wasn't like amazing, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't bad. I actually had a better experience there than I did at Garden Grill. You know, I think it was, oh, you're going to try Tony's next week? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I hope you enjoy it. I need to know all the tea. And then on top of it, I got to do, which the last video I put out is the Diamond Horseshoe. Everyone like always sneers at the Diamond Horseshoe, but now it's Liberty Tree Tavern's menu. That's the secret I share. And it was really good, but like, yes, do you want Thanksgiving food all the time? No. Did I have it during the right time of year? Absolutely. So I'm really excited to like be able to kind of like, you know, bring these restaurants that haven't had the best, you know, reputation into a good light. It's like I inspired you somehow. That's very funny. We also got to go to, I also got to go and bring you all with me to Pennsylvania this year. I got to go to, finally, the Cartoon Network Hotel. It has been on my bucket list for so many years, and wow, it did not disappoint. It was horrible. It was truly horrific. Over $200 for an old motel room. They should be ashamed. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Truly horrible. It's just like the audacity of this place. And honestly, like I hate being negative, but it's so important to me that people know what they're going to pay for. That is so expensive for what people get, and I don't think people realize that. And I want people to know the truth and what they're going to get. I also got to go to Hershey Park this year for the first time in a few years, and that was so fun. I love Hershey. I think that they do a fantastic job there. I think like besides like Disney and Universal, it's one of the best parks in the US. I think it's a destination park for sure. I mean, I know like obviously I am Cartoon Network Hotel should be on Fear Factor, yeah. I'm in the Northeast in New York, but like, you know, that is still like a destination like vacation for me. It is 4 hours away. Like if you think about it, and when I did it as a kid. So I do think though, like there's so much going on in Pennsylvania. Like you should definitely consider Pennsylvania doing like, even if you have to fly there. I think there's a lot going on there. I think Hershey is fantastic. You do many days there. You could stay in the Hershey, one of the Hershey, hotels, the Hershey Hotel, the Hershey Lodge. And it's great. And then I got to experience, which is attached to Cartoon Network, not attached, but like next to is Dutch Wonderland, which is very much for children, like very much for little children, but like an incredible park for little children, like unbelievable amount of stuff that they can do. And I, again, bringing it back to like what I said about Knott's Berry is they created their own IP, and it's so hard when you're not a Disney or Universal and, you know, you create your own IP. Is it true? Because you can tell there's no new update in the hotel. I mean, they literally just put lipstick on a pig in the room. Like they created the lobby and they did a great job with that for Cartoon Network Hotel. And it was an old motel and they just didn't refurb those rooms very well, and they put like a coat of paint on some of it, and it's disgusting. That shower, was horrible. I fly to Orlando. I don't drive. That would take forever and cost a lot more. Flights are not really too expensive from New York to Orlando, thank goodness, knock on wood. Like I either use points. If I'm going for such a short amount of time, I will fly with Spirit or Frontier, and usually I can get a flight for like $50, which is fantastic. Otherwise, if I'm going for a few days and I need a carry-on, along with my personal item, I will fly with points on JetBlue. And if you want to know how to go to Disney and Universal for free, which is basically like how to get everything besides the park tickets for free, there is a video on my Patreon all about that and how to use points and how to finagle it and to give yourself a fantastic little vacation using your credit card points. So I loved it. I loved Pennsylvania. I would love to go back soon. This August also was the premiere of Disney Multipass and Single Pass Lightning Lanes. And I am so glad I did my video because I learned from my own video this week. All of the tricks that we learned really helped me use it on my Disney vacation this week for my birthday, right? I went down for my birthday, no filming, just me and my husband and meeting up with some friends. And I was like, I'm gonna buy Lightning Lane because we're only here for a few days and I never get to ride things. Like, unless I'm riding it for a video, I don't get to ride attractions. I'm busy. Like I haven't rode Everest in 2 years. 2 years. And I was like, I am riding Everest on my birthday trip. And a lot of other things, right? And I wanted to ride Remy, so whatever. So I got us Lightning Lane, and because I did all of those experiments, I was able to do everything that I wanted to do. You are still able to stack. You're still able to do so much. And if you didn't watch my video, go watch it. You're gonna learn so much. It is so helpful. It is so helpful. Even with that, I was still made mistakes. You have to just check into your first Lightning Lane with everybody on your party. Don't cancel anybody at all. Like, just after you check into that first one, it is open season and you go for it. A chat. What was it? I'll chat. There is a Disney store down the road from the Cartoon Network Hotel. Well, someone should have told me that before I missed it. I did not go to the Disney store, and I don't think I will be back to the Cartoon Network Hotel. I know I won't be. So it's fine. Not so scary this year was so much fun because I went as JoJo Siwa when she was there for her 21st birthday. And what was so funny was people kept telling me happy birthday, and like, I don't look 21, but I will take it. So it was either like people immediately knew who I was, or they were like telling me happy birthday. Have I been to Disney Paris yet? I have. I actually went to Disneyland Paris before I even went to Disneyland. I actually went to Disneyland Paris before I ever went to even Epcot, Hollywood Studios, or Animal Kingdom. Because I went on my honeymoon in 2018. I went to France, and then I went to Disneyland Paris. And I would love to go back to Disneyland Paris because I haven't been for the channel. So once they are done with their renovations, with what they're doing with Walt Disney Studios Park, I would love to go back. It's definitely a huge bucket list item for me to go back. That was a cute costume. You did awesome. Thank you. What did you think of their Haunted Mansion, Phantom Manor? Well, here's the real nail in the coffin. We went, it was during the holidays, it was the first week of December, and you would think during the holidays they weren't going to have like things really under refurbishment. Phantom Manor was under refurbishment. Hyperspace Mountain was under refurbishment. The two like biggest things at that park were under refurbishment. So I need a redo because I didn't get to ride my two favorite Magic Kingdom attractions, and their versions are very different. So I need a redo. And then what else happened too? Like, I feel like a lot happened. Whatever. Anyway, I love it. I want to go back so bad. But yeah, so much fun at Not So Scary this year because of that. I also checked out the $2 bus from MCO to Disney World this year, the public transportation, and we learned a lot. So I love that it's an option. If you saw it, it's an option for you. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's the best option, but it's there for you. Yes, 2018, they were doing a lot of refurbishment. And I got to experience some rides that don't exist anymore. Like in Walt Disney Studios Park, they had it wasn't even really a ride. It was like an experience. I don't even know. It's some sort of, I don't even know how to explain it. But it was Armageddon, based off of every kid's favorite movie, Armageddon. And Michael Clark Duncan was the pre-show, and at that point, he had been dead for many, many years. So it was very weird. And then the cast member was like, who here speaks English? Who here speaks French? Who here speaks Spanish? And then, sorry, Spanish speakers, we are only going to say this pre-show in English and French. It was like, oh, wow, okay. So, and then we were taken into this room, and like things were like kind of happening around us, but like nothing happened. And they told us to like scream on cue. And because it was such a dumb experience, I had to make it like at least funny for myself. So everyone like kind of screamed on cue. And then I went after everyone was done screaming, went, ah, like it's just to make myself enjoy it more. It was so bad, but it's gone now. So it's fine. Oh my gosh, we did the top 10 most unique snacks at Magic Kingdom this year. That was an interesting one. Finally checked out Bob Marley this year at Universal City Walk. I got to go to New York's biggest, largest water park, Splish Splash, all the way out east on Long Island. Super far. Not really. It wasn't too bad, but like it felt like a long time to get there. But it was a great park. Not many people watched it, I guess, because people don't really plan on going there. But it's a great park. If you ever plan on coming to New York and it's during the summer, maybe think about it, because it's a fantastic water park. It's one of the best ones I've ever been to. Moving on to Epcot Food and Wine this year. There was a lot of great stuff this year. It was so much. They moved it later this year. I was really annoyed about that because it was the day before HHN. It works out better for me because I don't have to travel as much, but back to back with HHN, doing 2 nights in a row, same day videos is a lot for you, girl. Number one. Number two, I want my videos to kind of like have some time to like be out in the universe, right? And also because of it, I didn't get to experience premium Scream Night, which I really wanted to do. But, it's probably my most popular Disney video of the year. So obviously Food and Wine is the priority. And then my favorite event of the year, Halloween Horror Nights. It was a very, interesting year. Definitely a lot of cuts this year, noticeably, but still fantastic. Like the icons this year were amazing. Sinister and Surreal. I loved them. I loved the Torture Fair. I spent so much time there this year. I would like consider moving to Orlando just for the months of September and October, just to be in Horror Nights every night. I know that's the worst time to want to live there because it's hurricane season. But it's so good. Like, you guys, it's just such a great event. It just makes me feel just so happy being there. And then I got to experience my very first Hallow Scream at SeaWorld, and it was fantastic. And this is where I go back to, people just don't care about SeaWorld, and I love it. It was so good. It was such a great event. My friend Jessie was one of the scare actors. It was so great. SeaWorld invited me for that. I got to film inside the houses. It was so, so fun. Yes, like I mentioned before, I do fly to Universal and Disney to Orlando all the time. Again, if you want to learn how to fly for free, go check out my video on Patreon. Become a patron. It was so fun. I had a really great spooky season. We got to do Tonightmares in New York. They brought a little bit of Halloween Horror Nights to New York City. They created a whole new thing about Jimmy Fallon's nightmares, and it was like such good quality. I mean, I got to even meet some of the teams from Horror Nights. It was fantastic. I did my updated kids guide to Universal because obviously so much has changed with DreamWorks Land being open. So if you are planning on Universal and bringing kids, go check that out. I also have my kids guide to Islands of Adventure. I finally got to try Three Bridges at Coronado. I think I have now eaten at every Coronado restaurant except for Maya Grill, so that's on my list. Which theme park has the best Halloween event? That would be Universal, no question. Halloween Horror Nights is the greatest event of the year, period. Not even just Halloween event, favorite event of the year, best event of the year. Nothing beats it. So I loved Three Bridges. That was so fun I finally got to do that. And then very soon afterwards, I got to finally go to Rick's and do the chicken stuffed Mickey waffles. And then we got a little bit of Epic Universe in New York City at New York Comic Con, which also worked out great because my best friend came back home from California for that, so I got to be with her. And I just posted the whole video. I didn't make a whole vlog out. I just here's the video of New York Comic Con's panel if you want to see it. They really didn't tell us much. Really barely anything, but it was still great. I got to meet, some of the team working behind Epic Universe, which to me is more exciting than anything. It was a dream to be in that room with them, and it was so fun, and I'm just so excited for Epic. I cannot wait. Again, in just 3 short weeks, we will have I'll have my tour of Universal's Stella Nova Resort, the first Epic Universe hotel to open. In March will be Terra Luna. It actually was supposed to be February, but it got pushed a month. And then Grand Helios on the opening day of Epic Universe, which is May 22nd. And plus, I'll be at Epic Universe the opening weekend. And hopefully a lot afterwards, hopefully. We'll see. After that was my incredible opportunity of going backstage at Disney's Aladdin on Broadway. And I have an incredibly fun backstage tour. Me and my friend Emma stage manage Geek Out and show you a lot of fun things. And it was such a dream to be able to do that. It was always something I've always wanted to do for this channel. I'm kind of sad that it didn't really perform well at all. I think YouTube just didn't know what to make of this because it was a little bit of different content. Or people just don't care, and that's fine too. But I highly recommend you watching it. It was a dream. And then holidays. Oh my gosh, we have made it to the holidays. 101 minutes in. The holidays this year, my goodness, starting out strong with Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which I was so lucky to be able to go back again this year for my birthday. So if you don't know, back in 2019 in December, I went for my 25th birthday to Disney, and I went to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party on my birthday. It was the last party night, just like this year. And after that party, I left saying to myself, I want to figure out how to come back here more. And then, I don't know if you heard, but there was this pandemic that happened a few months later in 2020. And I work in theater in New York City, and there was no more theater in New York City. And yeah, it was a time where I got to say to myself, well, what are you going to do? And I said to my husband, I think I'm going to go down. And I went down and I covered the reopenings, and here we are. So it only felt right this year to go back for my 30th. And, 5 years later, my life is so different than it was, and it's amazing. And it's all because of you guys that you watch and support. And I can't thank you enough. And I am so thankful that I got to do this. Did you see The Lion King on Broadway? Did you hear Hercules maybe coming to Broadway too? I got to see, it's funny, I never got to see Lion King on Broadway until Broadway reopened in 2021, 2022. I don't even remember what year it was. Because Disney never gives out discounts. And I grew up with nothing, so I didn't get to see a lot of shows growing up. I got to see one show a year once I was in high school. It's my birthday / holiday present, right? But I got to take my mom and we were in the orchestra, and oh my goodness, I have to tell you, I'm not like the biggest Lion King fan, and then when I saw the show, it changed my world. I was crying from top to bottom. It was magnificent. It's an incredible show. It's unbelievable. If you see it, definitely get a seat in the orchestra. I don't want to tell you why, but just an orchestra seat, it's going to be better. And I saw it the best day possible, the reopening of Broadway, like with the energy so high of people just wanting to be back in theater, right? It was so lovely. It was amazing. I don't know if you know this, but the arrangements are a little bit different than the movie. So everything is a lot like fuller, and there's more like African music that they put into it. I did like a whole research thing because I watched this I was like listening to it, and I was like, this sounds different. Like there's something is different than the original. And yeah, it's so good. It's like, if you listen to the Broadway soundtrack of The Circle of Life versus the movie, you're going to have chills. You're going to cry. Like, it's so good. And so I have a real love for The Lion King now, and I actually would love to go back and see it again. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind, Peter. I am so thankful for you guys. But Very Merry this year, I want to go back because, yes, I obviously do the first night and I show you everything, and nothing has really changed for Very Merry this year, except there was definitely some different music for the parade, same like Once Upon a Christmas Time of Christmas, but a little bit different. Eventually, Tally the Elf became a huge sensation. I got to see him when I went on my birthday, but he didn't come over to me, and I was sad. But it's okay. I got to see him. That was very fun. And I will say, I got to go as just a patron, right? Wasn't filming. I was very smart. I didn't get my husband a ticket that day to the park. I just got him the party ticket. He's not a pass holder for Disney, only for Universal. This is a lot cheaper. It's so cheap to be a Universal pass holder, and it's so expensive to be a Disney one, right? So I got him tickets for Saturday, Sunday, and I got him just the party ticket for Friday. And we went to Boma for breakfast, and then we hung out in Animal Kingdom Lodge for a bit, looked at some animals, and then I wanted to get there around 2:30, and I'm glad we did. There was already people there, but we were very much close to the front. We hung out. Actually, because I have a annual pass, I went into Magic Kingdom. I got to do the little things that I wanted to get done beforehand, but for my birthday, whatever. And I actually brought us out some spring rolls from the spring roll cart. But getting there early lets you beat the crowd. You want to get that wristband as soon as possible, right? So we got in. They let us in at 3:50. They let you in normally at 4, right? They always let you in a little bit earlier. And I just wanted to do things that, like, I haven't done in a while, or things I've never done. And the one thing I realized I've never done in Disney World and Magic Kingdom, I did it in Disneyland, I've never done the railroad because it was down for so many years because of them building Tron. And then, like, it closes early, and if I'm not doing a ride video, I don't get to ride things. So it was really nice. I finally got to do that. And like, even with like how long it took to do one loop around to Magic Kingdom, like back to the front of the railroad station, we saw a huge flood of people still trying to get in. And we already did that. We got in, we went through the party entrance. We got to do Haunted Mansion, Tiana's. We got some food. We did Space Mountain. We did Tron. We did, what else? Pirates of the Caribbean. We got snacks, and we got to see the fireworks and the parade and the show. And we also just like took our time and were leisurely about things. We got to get all the cookies and the drinks. So it was so great because we did so much. We waited for like no time at all for anything. The longest wait was, I think, 25 minutes for Space Mountain. It was 20 minutes for Tron. It was listed at 40. It was great. So if you do a party, make sure to get there early. I don't think you need to have a day ticket at all. If you're going to do a party, just get a party ticket and get there early so you get in and utilize as much time as possible, right? So it was fantastic. I love that party. I think it's the best party that Disney does every year. And I say that over Halloween, and I know I'm in the minority, but I just don't think that Disney does no one does Christmas like Disney. And as I say that, as much as I love Universal holidays and I love Grinchmas so much, literally love it so much. It's so, Magic Kingdom in particular, you cannot beat the backdrop of it. It is just spectacular during the holidays. There is something about it that just makes me feel good. And I spoke about this. I did a whole interview with the Dark Ride podcast had me on, and you should go listen to that. Adrian and Ryan are the hosts. They're fantastic. And we were talking about the differences between Jollywood and Mickey's Very Merry. And, you know, it was like, why do I like this one more, even though this one kind of has a lot of the same check marks? And it's really just because Magic Kingdom during Christmas is something you just really can't beat. So that's kind of like how I feel about it. Oh, hello, Bradley. I love SeaWorld Christmas. I'm so sad I did not get a chance to go this year. I did a video last year. I think it's so good. Their ice skating show is fantastic. Their food is really good. It's great. I highly recommend SeaWorld during the holidays. Excuse me. But let's move on to Jollywood Nights. I did a video, did Disney fix Jollywood Nights? Yes and no. Absolutely a huge improvement. Oh, thank you. And I think they used the blueprint of the after hours like we did earlier this year, to create Jollywood Nights. And it was fantastic, really was. I think that there are still things I really don't like about it. I don't like the swapping of characters. I don't like that there's not an exclusive fireworks show. That fireworks show does not go with with this event. It was a show that was already, created before. I don't like the fact that Mickey and Minnie's mouths don't move in the show, and I know that sounds like I'm nitpicking, but if this is the same price as Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, we should have the same quality of things. And moving mouth Minnie, Mickey make a huge difference in a show. I really truly think that. But a lot better. I absolutely had so much fun. Which theme park has the best Christmas event that you like the most? It would be Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party for me. Again, as much as I love Grinchmas is a very close second. I think my order would be, out of just like Universal and Disney, it would be Very Merry, Grinchmas, and then Jollywood. I did get to experience Epcot's Festival of the Holidays this year. I don't normally go because, and I don't cover it for the channel. It's the one festival I don't cover, and that's because I'm there in the beginning of November. I have to fly back like 10 days later for Universal, and then they don't start Festival of the Holidays until the day after Thanksgiving. And the day after Thanksgiving is, one, always expensive to fly. Two, is usually either my anniversary or my husband's birthday, and I don't want to be away. And three, it's just a really short festival to do what I normally do, and it's just not really worth it for me. Again, I am a relatively small channel, but I did get to see it this year as a consumer, and oh my gosh, did I have the best time. I loved that festival. I thought the food was great. I love all of the storytellers, the Santas, and oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, but the witch, the Italian Christmas witch, not Befante, I'm thinking Harry Belafonte, La Befana, that's what I'm talking about. The Hanukkah storyteller is the only park ever that does anything for Hanukkah, which is great. I did put out a food review of the Hanukkah booth on social media, so if you want to go check that out. But I loved it. I think I may have loved it more than Jollywood Nights. I don't know. It's a close one. Did you catch the candlelight processional? I did not. I didn't have time. I also don't really like it that much. It's just not really for me. And it's like gets filled up, and we had a very short amount of time to be there over a long weekend. So, that's great that you're out of Florida. I am New York based, and I fly down every few weeks. I'll be flying down in a few weeks again. And what's crazy is, the way things worked out because of life, I'm going to be down obviously for Festival of the Arts, for the opening of Stella Nova, and then I have to go to my family in South Florida after that, and then come home, and then a few days later fly back down to Orlando for Mardi Gras. So it's crazy. It's a crazy life, but I prefer the commute for sure. Farts is the best. Farts is still my favorite festival. I am so excited this year for Farts. Again, my video will be out Saturday, January 18th in the morning for that. And Stella Nova will be out. They open on the 21st. I'm hoping I will have the video out on the 21st as well. If not, it will be the 22nd. And then Mardi Gras is February 1st. So my video will be out February 2nd with all the food. I also got to go to Jack Lindsay's this year. I love Jack Lindsay's. I think it's such a great holiday bar. I think like no one really beats it. Definitely go earlier in the year if you're there during the holiday season now. I was gonna go, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's too cold to sit outside. That's why it's gonna be hard to get a seat. And then also it's still so busy even if it wasn't cold outside, or if you were gonna brave the cold, people do it. Disney Springs is a nightmare during this time of year. Don't do it. But I did put out my Disney Springs holiday guide, which I love doing every year. With the tree stroll, the photo pass opportunities, the snow in the town center, and the musicians. And I did notice that they actually switched out when I was there on this past week. They had the drummers instead of the band, so they switched them out. I love Disney Springs. I got in meeting Santa, and it's like so much of it is free. So like, if you're going, I really think, go if you're gonna be there during like the really peak hours, like peak time of year, like this last 2 weeks of the year. Go during the day. It's going to be a little bit easier. But if you're going to like do the holidays, I really recommend doing November because it's going to be a lot less crowded for sure. And then Universal Holidays. I still love Universal Holidays, but because of what happened with the Grinch breakfast this year, oh my gosh, what a nightmare that was. But, we live, we learn. Unfortunately, I think I would still pick it because if there was no VIP tour available, they do the holiday one, and it's only like $20 more. So like I would have just paid for that, but they didn't have it available that first day. And obviously I need to be there the first day and get the video out as soon as possible so that you know what to expect when you go, right? So hold on, I'm losing my voice. So it took forever, right? There was still a huge line to meet the Grinch. The reason why I say I would still pick that over the line is such a dumb reason, but if it's important to you, you may think about it this way. The lighting in the Grinch room where the regular queue is blue and green, and your pictures just come out blue and green, and it doesn't look nice. And in Circus McGurkus doing the character breakfast, it's at least in like normal light. So I hated my photos last year after waiting 3 hours. So I still waited like so long, and I did get to like leave and come back and whatever, but at least my photos were, not blue. And I think if you're going to wait all that time for your photos to just be like kind of not great, it's not worth it. So I don't know. I think the VIP tour is the way to go for sure. If you're going to do that, and they sell out so quick. So if you are thinking about going to Universal for the holidays, just do the VIP tour. If meeting the Grinch is important to you, do the VIP tour, because otherwise it's just going to be a nightmare. And it stinks. I really wish that they would, I hope, if there's any child listening right now, I would like you to put on your earmuffs on. Parents, I'm going to give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm going to say something a little bit here. I wish that they would do the Grinch like how they do Macy's in Santaland. There's a ton of Santas. They're all in their little individual houses. And there needs to be more Grinches. There needs to be more. Like, even having just the 2, like one for breakfast, one for the regular line, like, it's not enough. And then people get like upset because it like ruins the, how could there be 2 Grinches? Well, like, I'm sorry, but like, if you want to actually meet the Grinch, like, you need more. Like, it's gonna take too long. By the way, guys, make sure you're giving this video a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you like it. I really appreciate that. And so yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Definitely do the VIP tour if you can. I hopefully there's a change next year. I don't believe there will be. I don't think this is on their priority list with Epic coming up. So we'll see. We will see. Getting to the end of our year, we did try Disney's Cake Bake Shop, the most expensive place I think at Disney right now, and we tried their $124 afternoon tea. So again, I think that this place is beautiful. I think that the owner that designed it put her heart and soul into this place. I think it's stunning. I think that the fact that a lot of the items are not exclusive to the tea definitely devalues the tea. I think that the food itself is like the food, not the sweets were the standout. And I would just go and watch it to see if it's something you want to do. It's a very long, it's a difficult process to kind of book versus just, doing a reservation. But it is a unique thing. And, it's something to consider. Yes, I already have my Epic tickets. I will be there opening weekend. You met the Grinch at Hershey's Chocolate World. What? Would you ever consider a career as a travel agent? I don't think I would. I don't even like booking my own things, so I don't think I want to book anybody else's things. I really hate booking things. I would love to have someone book all my stuff for me. I wish Disney agents would do like flights and stuff and like get, things, because they work for free and then they get commission. So I hate it. I mean, because for me, I'm obviously trying to get the cheapest flight possible or use my points. So it takes a long time and a lot of planning. So I hate booking things. I did it last night for January. I still have to do my February for Mardi Gras. And it's just I hate doing it. We got to do our gingerbread extravaganza this year. And what was so bizarre, you guys, was so funny. I was in Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge on my birthday, and we were in front of the tree and the Christmas tree and the gingerbread display. And a girl came up to me and she was like, "Is this you?" And she was watching the video because she wanted to see all the gingerbread displays. I was like, yeah. It's so weird, right? So it was so cool, in the moment of oh, that's so funny. So I'm glad I'm able to help people. And they did such a great job this year. I can't believe they didn't do the Yacht Club one, but otherwise, really great. I got to see the Epcot one, that happened after, for Festival of the Holidays, so that happened much, much later after I posted that video. And it was fine. I refused to get the $10 piece of gingerbread that probably wasn't very good. And then finally, unfortunately, it was our very last Christmas in Dino Land. And I am so sad, but I'm so happy because when I went back with my husband, he got me, we were playing to win, I was trying to win one of the Dino-Rama plushes because when you can't buy them, you can only win them, and they're so specific, and it's the only way to get it. And I tried one, and then my husband tried, and he got it like a ball in the cup, and I can't believe I got it. And we will have a full-on funeral service for Dino Land video. I have that already filmed, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's already filmed. When we say a big goodbye to Dino Land. Luckily, we don't have to say goodbye to Dinosaur right away, but Dino Land will be good. We'll be closing, what, is it next week? Is it 2 weeks? What day is that? Dino Land closing date. January 13th. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't be back in time, so I already have our farewell Dino Land, and I've made my peace. They're going. I love that we do get to keep Dinosaur for a little while longer. I am very skeptical about this new land coming in. I'm excited for Encanto. I don't think that Indiana Jones needs to be in Disney parks anymore. I think it's an old IP. I don't think people care. I don't think kids care about Indiana Jones. And if it's just gonna replace Dinosaur and be like a lesser version of the Disneyland one, I don't think I think that really bothers me. I think, again, the park should have differences, and I don't think it's going to be as good as the one in Disneyland if they do that. If it's going to be a little bit different, I don't know. If it's a different ride within Dinosaur, I don't know. I don't like that it's Indiana Jones. It should have been something else. Just like, it's ridiculous. I don't like that last movie came out. It was a flop. It wasn't very good. I like the original Indiana Jones, but like, again, like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's a choice. I hope you enjoy your final goodbye to Dino Land. I had a very bittersweet moment with it, so I'm really happy I've made my peace, and I'm gonna miss it a lot. I love Dino Land. I'm gonna miss Dino Bites. We had many good snacks there, and oh my god, those buffalo chicken chips at Trilo Bites. Oh, so good. Well, my dudes, we have been talking for 124 minutes. Drop me any questions you have, because that was 2024. 2025, we have a lot coming up. Again, we have, my brain just died, Festival of the Arts, video out January 18th. Opening a Stella Nova Resort, video out either the 21st or the 22nd. If I can get it out on 21st, I will. Mardi Gras, video out on the February 2nd. Terra Luna opens what day? March 25th? I don't remember. Hold on. I have it in my calendar. Not May, March. March 25th. So hopefully that day or the 26th, I'll have that out. And then obviously Epic Universe opens May 22nd. Tag me in anything Universal related. So hopefully I get invited to any type of previews to help get us all prepped ahead of time. It's been literally 20 years since you last rode the dinosaur ride. Oh, I love Dinosaur. I'm going to be really sad when that's gone, because it's just like such a great ride. It's like all practical effects. What else? Flower and Garden will be, when is it this year? March 5th. So video will be out March 6th. I think that's all of like the dates that are available right now for things. Obviously, we will have Food and Wine in probably August again, and then Halloween Horror Nights the first weekend of September. And then, you know, it's all the same stuff. Like probably we'll have Very Merry November 7th will be my guess. Oh, Not So Scary will probably be August 14th is my guess. September, my guess, Horror Nights will start August 29th this year. If we go by the calendar last year, Food and Wine will start the 28th. Hollow Scream will probably start the 5th of September. I don't know if I'll make it this year, because I do have to stay in Orlando a whole week, so we'll see. Not that many people watched it, so I don't know if it's worth staying for so long, though I do get to enjoy Horror Nights. And then, what else? So then, so yeah, probably November 7th for Very Merry, 8th for Jollywood probably, and then the 21st probably for Grinchmas next year. Lots to look forward to. So much is happening. Obviously, Epic is going to be the biggest thing, so thank you for a great year of Magical Hijinx. It's definitely a year we'll never forget. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much for all of your support here and all the platforms, and all of you for being here and listening to me rattle and reliving this incredible year. I am so excited to post again. I've taken a little break on posting because nobody's watching this time of year. So I was like, you know what? I could use a break anyway. And it's been great to have a little mental break. To not edit videos. I'm still posting all over socials, so I'm really not totally not working, right? But I'm so glad that I caught your live. Bye. Have a happy new year, girl. Oh, happy new year. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. It's 6:08. We only got 2 hours to Monday Night Raw, and then next week Monday Night Raw is on Netflix. Can you tell that I enjoy wrestling? Oh, and this year John Cena said my name. I'll never get over that. He made a whole video about me. So let's just remember that this is the year that John Cena said at Magical Hijinx and then a bunch of other things about me. And I'll never get over it till the day I die. It's 3:08 on the West Coast. Congratulations for having some more daylight. It is pitch black already here in New York. I cannot wait for the sun to start setting later because I cannot stand it being so dark so soon. It is awful. But thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your support here and on socials. Make sure if you're give this video a thumbs up. Join us over on Patreon. You'll get exclusive bonus content, bonus lives, help with trip planning, access to our Discord, a free dining guide to Walt Disney World by Disney for foodies, and so much more. And everything will go right back into the channel. Thank you for all the super chats today, you guys. I really appreciate that. So I would love to do a live in the parks, even though we didn't make our super chat goal. But I will 100% try to do that. I will try to plan that out. I'm really bad at planning these lives in advance, but I will try to be better. That's awesome. I can't wait for March either for daylight savings. Yeah, it's gonna be great. At least now we passed the shortest day of the year and it's going, the other way. So anyway, thank you for being here tonight. I hope you have all had a wonderful holiday season, a continued holiday season, because the holidays go on until whenever you want it to. And a very happy and very healthy new year ahead. I hope only the best things for you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. I love you all so much. Thank you for everything. I thank you for 20,000 subscribers. Make sure to keep watching. Remember, if you want to support the channel and you can't really join on Patreon, just keep my videos playing in the background on your computer and like and comment on every video I do. That really helps the channel a lot, and I really appreciate that. And I love you all. Happy New Year. Healthy New Year. I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. And again, another Happy New Year. And until next time, my dudes, I hope you guys get into some hijinks very, very soon. Bye-bye.